In this episode of the Truth Podcast, Vivek Ramaswamy and his guest Balaji Srinivasan delve into the complexities of the FDA, the regulatory state, and the broader implications for innovation and healthcare. Their conversation is rich with insights drawn from their respective backgrounds in biotech, technology, and venture capital, as well as their shared experiences as children of Indian immigrants. The conversation focuses on the FDA, particularly Balaji's past consideration for the role of Deputy Commissioner during the Trump administration. Balaji shares his insights into the regulatory landscape, emphasizing how the FDA's bureaucratic processes often stifle innovation in the biotech sector. He references Arum's law, which illustrates the increasing costs of drug development over time, contrasting it with Moore's law in technology. This rising cost, he argues, is a direct consequence of the regulatory state, which imposes significant hurdles on drug development. Balaji expresses frustration over a recent FDA decision to reject an MDMA-based therapy for PTSD, despite the therapy having undergone 2 successful Phase 3 trials. He critiques the FDA's reliance on advisory committees, suggesting that these committees often serve as a cover for the agency's pre-existing biases. The FDA's justification for the rejection, claiming that the trial was functionally unblinded due to the euphoric effects of MDMA, highlights the disconnect between regulatory processes and the realities of drug efficacy. The discussion reveals a deep-seated frustration with the bureaucratic nature of the FDA and its impact on patients. Balaji argues that the FDA's actions ultimately harm those it claims to protect, as patients with PTSD are left without viable treatment options. He points out that the FDA's focus on minimizing side effects often comes at the expense of maximizing therapeutic effects, leading to a system that prioritizes caution over innovation. Balaji also discusses the broader implications of the regulatory state, suggesting that it operates under a nanny state mentality, where regulators believe they are protecting citizens from their own choices. This paternalistic approach, he argues, stifles individual agency and limits access to potentially life-saving treatments. As the conversation progresses, Balaji emphasizes the importance of creating alternative systems to challenge the FDA's authority. He discusses various exit strategies, such as right-to-try laws, off-label prescriptions, and medical tourism, which allow patients to seek treatments outside the FDA's purview. These alternatives, he argues, demonstrate the potential for a more decentralized approach to healthcare, where individuals have greater control over their treatment options. Balaji also highlights the need for competing jurisdictions that can offer more flexible regulatory frameworks. He believes that the rise of technology and social media has created an environment where individuals can advocate for their own health choices, challenging the traditional power dynamics of the regulatory state. The conversation takes a broader turn as Balaji and Ramaswamy discuss the implications of the administrative state on American politics. Balaji argues that the current political landscape is characterized by a significant imbalance of power, with blue states and institutions dominating the narrative and resources. He suggests that Republicans must recognize their status as underdogs in this environment and adopt strategies that reflect this reality. Balaji posits that the Republican Party faces a critical decision: whether to attempt to reform existing bureaucracies by placing conservatives in key positions or to dismantle these bureaucracies entirely. He advocates for the latter approach, arguing that the administrative state is fundamentally flawed and cannot be reformed from within. Instead, he believes that a more radical restructuring is necessary to create a system that truly serves the interests of the public. As the podcast nears its conclusion, Balaji and Ramaswamy touch on the future of the nation-state and the potential for new models of governance. Balaji expresses skepticism about the ability of traditional political structures to adapt to the rapidly changing landscape of technology and society. He suggests that the emergence of decentralized systems and alternative jurisdictions could pave the way for a more responsive and accountable form of governance. The conversation concludes with a commitment to continue exploring these themes in future discussions. Balaji's insights into the FDA, the regulatory state, and the future of governance provide a thought-provoking framework for understanding the challenges and opportunities facing society today.